A lot of veterans live with mental health issues when they return home from their service. Now, one local veteran is helping them through a unique means. He's using song to channel his emotions and helping one veteran at a time. Kaylee Starl has his story.
With each strum,
got to hold my baby girl on the very first time,
is a memory Jesse Tyler Frewerd holds dear.
I just kind of picture certain places in my life, like where I was at those times, especially like holding my daughter for the first time when we got back home, and then also the difficult things too. So
those difficult things include his time in Iraq while serving with the U.S. Army.
a couple close calls there. I had a IED, or improvised explosive device, go off right under the Humvee we were in. Shrapnel kind of went everywhere, and like it was a miracle that it didn't hurt us physically.
When he returned home, things didn't get better.
I struggled for a long time with that, and it was probably like this roller coaster of like 7 years or so.
The constant through it all was music.
When we were deployed, we had a guitar there that we kind of would pass around. Used it as a means to just process the difficult things I went through and just kind of connect with others.
20 years later, Jesse released his first song on Veterans Day with nonprofit Creative Vets. It's called Soldier Coming Home.
Just playing the part of a soldier coming. Like, the song isn't the end of the story. It's a moment in time where, yes, there were some difficult moments in my life, but like, I wanted people to know that there can be a fulfilling life, hope.
As he strums, he hopes to strike a chord with other veterans.
I'm living proof that, like, there is hope. Celebrating me coming home today.
Good evening, everyone. I'm Tom Lamog, a volunteer instructor with the Cyber Chapter for Guitars for Vets and Cav Arts, the Challenge America Veteran Arts community. Welcome to Songs Sung True, a Veterans Viewer. Tonight, we feature the stories and original music of U.S. Army Specialist and singer-songwriter Jesse Frewerd. It's his second appearance on the show, and Jesse is back to update us on his musical journey with his life since we spoke with him about a year ago. So let me find that guy. Hey, Jesse, how are you doing?
Good. How are you?
I'm great. It's been a year. Has it really been a year since we I remember us putting the first show together, getting to know you, really getting to know you very well, from the writings that you've done.
Still in the apartment at that time, too, so it's a pretty big change.
You've had some major life changes as well. Yeah, new home, which we're going to talk a little bit about later. And of course, the family. How's the family doing?
Family's great. Yep, we got big news. Expecting another boy here in July, so looking forward to that.
Man, oh man. And is Katie joining us tonight by any chance? Or
unfortunately not. She's watching our son Dean and our niece too, so
well, well, hopefully she'll know we're talking about her when we run through some of the stories about both of you, about your music. Canary Canyon, what is that? Who are they? What's the significance of that? But let's talk about, let's open the show with your first song, and the song that seems to be most identified with you. Since you wrote it, Soldier Coming Home. You know, for those of the Guitars for Vets Learning Center members who have done a little bit of research on you, you'll know that Jesse's out there performing this song. He's got some stories to share. Well, rather than me continue talking, why don't you tell us a little bit about Soldier Coming Home?
Yeah, it came to be in 2017 due to Creative Vets. another nonprofit, like flew me out to Nashville, put me up in a hotel, like got to write with professional songwriters, and that was like a whole new experience to me at that time. It just really opened my eyes what is possible with music. And the song itself, it balances like the happy moments, like seeing my daughter for the first time, but also like the tough things that you have to face, faking a smile and just kind of putting on the face for when you're really struggling sometimes. So like, yeah, that's being an actor in your own life, I think, is what I like to, that was like the core theme, what was going on around that time.
Right.
So.
Well, why don't you go ahead and bring that guitar up? What are you playing tonight, by the way, before we go in? Because it is a guitar player community. I'm sure they're going to be asking. What guitar are you playing tonight?
I got a Martin. I lost the label came out of the inside, so I can't tell what model it is right now. I took a picture of it, but I'd have to pull it up. But
hey, hold it up for everyone. Let's make this a contest. Hold it up for everyone. And if you know the answer to this, put it in the chat box.
Yeah.
And we'll go ahead and see what Jesse thinks about that. But in the meantime, Soldier Coming Home, Jesse Frewerd, everyone.
Sun shining on a small town parade, celebrating me coming home today. Told a couple stories for the evening news, shook a few hands, got a few thank yous. Got to hold my baby girl for the very first time. She's got her eyes like her mama's and her nose like mine. Feels good to be standing on the southern ground, till the desert finds its way back around. So I fake a smile, put on a front, can't forget these things I've done. My life has changed for Uncle Sam. This war goes on for who I am. The hell I seen just shakes me now. The business end of that 50 cal in a room full of people feel alone. Just playing the part of a soldier coming home. I'm not the man I used to be, but this guy in the mirror still looks like me. It's hard to act like things ain't changed, but I'm a leading role in a make-believe game. So I fake a smile, put on a front, can't forget these things I've done. My life has changed for Uncle Sam. This war goes on for who I am. The hell I seen just shakes me now. But there's a scent of that 50 cal in a room full of people feel alone. Just playing the part of a soldier coming home. The hell I seen just shakes me now. The business end of that 50 cal in a room full of people feel alone. Just playing the part of a soldier coming home. Still playing the part of a soldier coming home. Sun shining on a small town parade, celebrating me coming home. today.
Jesse Frewerd, everyone. Soldier coming home. Way to go. That's awesome. You're playing a little differently than what I remember it, and it sounds really awesome.
Yeah, I recorded it a half step down, so I'm playing it in standard again.
Oh,
So
okay.
I go back and forth between those two.
So when you play it live, before you were doing it in different tuning,
Yeah.
did you bring two guitars, or did you have just that one guitar and you had to?
Just capo, yep, just one guitar, yeah.
No, okay, got it.
I tuned down a full step, so that allows me to kind of get my baritone voice for the
Secrets and the
chorus.
strumming and also the picking. The dynamics in the song itself, some quieter parts, and playing some of the louder parts. That was really wonderful. Gosh.
you.
So maybe we can talk a little bit about the song itself. When it came to writing the lyrics, did you bring the majority of the ideas with you, or did you just basically share your story and say, here's what happened, and just talk through it, and then they would pick up on those ideas and then just put it together? How did that work?
Yeah, it was a little both. So yeah, remember when we first all kind of met each other, just introducing myself and just kind of going into my story, more or less, condensed version of it. But yeah, we just got to writing maybe like after 5-10 minutes after I told them kind of my experiences in Iraq and struggles coming home. Just started writing. Like I mainly let the professionals do the heavy lifting. I would chime in here and there, like got to hold my baby girl for the very first time. I remember throwing that line, and then Adam Fears, one of the writers, kind of fitted in there in the melody, and yeah, it was.
No, man. Were there any takeaways in the way of, I remember this, I'm going to take this with me when I write my next song? Was there much of that?
At that time, I was really fresh, I guess I'll say. Like, so I didn't pick up on too much probably right away, but now looking back, like seeing what they were doing, definitely opened my eyes to what's possible with music. Because like before I went on that trip, I was almost ready to kind of shelve it. Just I've been playing for, at that time, 2017, maybe 15 years or so, and just kind of plateaued, and I wasn't as inspired as I used to be. And yeah, it just really opened my eyes what was possible with it. And
So it was, you're saying that it sounded different. Is that what it was? And then you,
it was, yeah, their talent, their like honesty, and just creating this space where we had to write this amazing song. So it was just, yeah, it was really cool. It was very cathartic too. So
was that easy to sit through that? I mean, this is from the heart, obviously.
Yeah.
And then when you bear that to a group of people for input and feedback and direction and all, was that kind of difficult or challenging? How did that go?
It was maybe a little difficult, but I was in probably a lot better space than I was, like, say 2013 or 14. Like,
All right.
yeah.
Yeah.
So in 2017, I was in a much better headspace, mentally, physically, spiritually, like all
Sure.
the above. So
Right,
yeah.
right. So let me ask you, after you had got the final product from the songwriters, and you learned to play it, who was the first person you played it for, and what did they say?
Oh, Katie was definitely the first one that heard it. As soon as I, yeah, as soon as I got back, she was actually like teaching me how to kind of play it, because like I didn't completely learn it while I was there, because I was still, like I said, pretty fresh at that point, even though I've been playing music for a while. But as a songwriter. Yeah, it was kind of new, but in any case, like Katie was definitely the first one I showed it to, and she loved it. It's hard to remember what she said exactly, like at that time, but
I'm sure.
yeah, it was.
Is she watching tonight? Maybe she'll. Maybe she'll.
Yeah, have her chime in. Yeah, I don't think she is because she's got 2 kiddos on her hands.
This is all
but-
wrong. You're
Yeah,
not telling
yeah.
the truth.
Yeah.
Awesome. There's a question. How did you get hooked up with the songwriters in Nashville? Thank you, Dave.
Yeah. So Creative Vets is the name of the. I can.
Creativevets.org, I think is. We partnered. Guitars for Vets has even partnered with them on certain things as well too. Creative Vets. Let's see here. So, and then the first group of people, the first public performance. Do you remember where that was and how they responded? I bet they loved it.
Actually, I think it was kind of a TV. First time really presenting it.
Oh,
it was
nice.
For TMJ4. So
Is that the one that's online?
yeah.
Oh, that was that was an awesome performance, and the interview was really well. In fact,
Yeah, the
was
morning.
that the interview?
blend.
No, we were watching a different interview.
Yep. That was different. Yeah, but when I first kind of got back, it was maybe a couple months after, and then I wrote to the morning blend, and they had me on, and played it
That's
for them.
awesome. And the rest is history. And now you're like a local star in Milwaukee. Let me take a minute to introduce you formally. I've taken some things off of your bio, and for those of you who do not know Jesse, let me kind of introduce you to him. At just 18 years old and fueled by a desire to serve his country after the events of 9/11, Jesse began his military career as a cavalry scout. In 2003, Frewerd and his unit were deployed to Iraq, where he served on active duty for more than a year. While on a routine mounted patrol during his deployment, Frewerd and members of his unit were wounded when an IED detonated beneath their vehicle. Shaken and injured, the team managed to apprehend the suspects and leave the area. Since then, Frewerd has been honored with several awards and recognitions for his service. Jesse's musical journey began post-deployment in Iraq in 2004, where music became not just a passion, but a lifeline, a transformational outlet for healing and reflection in the face of adversity. It was in 2017 when Jesse's journey took an unexpected turn, getting the opportunity to collaborate with seasoned songwriters in the heart, Music City, Nashville. Today, Jesse and his wife, Katie, are happily partnered in life and the proud parents of their son, along with Jesse's college-age daughter and their new baby on the way. I'm sure we're going to hear more about that. Jesse and Katie have also written songs and performed together as the group Canary Canyon. Did I miss anything?
They covered it pretty well. Yeah.
There's so much more to your life for sure.
Yeah.
And for those of you who missed the first Song True featuring Jesse, he was our second guest, and he dove pretty deep into his military career and some of the things that happened as he transitioned out, and the role that the significant role that Katie played. And we're going to talk a little bit about that, but maybe we can kind of go back on just a little bit about your career in the Army. Just a handful of questions here, and
Sure.
Yeah. So tell us about some of the responsibilities that you had while you were in the Army.
While I was I was a Cav Scout. I started off as a driver. We had Humvees, so driving that initially, and then later a gunner for a 50 cal. So that was primary duties, and then we also had just like guard duty and like patrols and things like that when we were in Iraq. So
Okay. Now, when you entered the Army, did you set goals, or did you have any expectations, personally and professionally, that you'd like to share with us?
Yeah, personally, like I knew I wanted to serve, but it was also a limited time. I knew I wanted to go to college one day, and the military seemed like a good way to help pay for that. So, yeah, like that was my kind of professional goal. Is get my college degree, and I later did using the GI Bill and stuff like that. So, yeah, it stuck to the plan, and there was a couple of bumps along the way, but
Sure.
you know, yeah.
I would imagine it's not smooth sailing the whole way. You had some other responsibilities as well and commitments.
Yeah.
Now, here's a question for you that we didn't really talk about the last time, and that's dealing with people that you served with. The challenges, you know, things that were easy about it. Did anything come to mind that was memorable from dealing with the people you served with?
I think the friendships or like camaraderie like most sticks out. Like, just the knowing that these guys have your back, like no matter what, just while you're over there. Developed some very good friendships. Talked to a lot of my units still, like on Facebook and stuff through
Awesome.
that. But yeah,
Do you guys ever get together? Yeah, are you able to do that?
we tried. I think they tried to set up a reunion, but I wasn't able to attend the year that they did or tried setting it up. But yeah, hopefully we'll do it again sometimes. But
Would you perform your songs for them if they? No,
definitely, yeah, if they
on.
wanted to hear them. So yeah,
No, I know other people. You don't have to. Of course, that's awesome,
Yeah.
dude. Of course.
Yeah.
Yeah, that would an honor to be. Now, you mentioned passing around a guitar while you were deployed. Now, that was in the TV interview. Did you already know how to play guitar when you?
not really. It was more just messing around. Like I didn't even probably know how to play a full song.
So no Stairway to Heaven or
No, no.
Freebird or okay.
Yeah, it was just like, yeah, just messing around. Like I might have remembered a couple things. Like I did take or start when I was in high school, but like just from going from basic training, deploying, not having all that time to play much. I was essentially starting over like when I got back.
I meant to ask you, did you come from a musical family? Were your parents or any siblings?
Not that I know of. Yeah, it was just something that I wanted to do. Like, I was really just in awe of like Nirvana right away. So like all the grunge stuff, I was immersed into that. So
I think I've
started
seen
on
some
electric.
recordings of that.
Yeah,
It was awesome. Yeah, I think Guitars for Vets had posted it on on their YouTube page. It's like, wow, you're an ambassador? I want to meet you.
yeah.
Okay, so final question, accomplishment or accomplishments that you're most proud of while you were in the Army?
Well, I was in the Army. I think getting through that tour in Iraq was pretty. It's up there, but other than that, as the obvious one, I think graduating my basic training, it was probably one of the toughest things I ever did. Was how it worked out. We had to do a 20K to graduate with full gear, everything.
Right.
But as it worked out, the day of, I had to do a land nav course too. So I was walking with the radio probably for a full 20K that day. But then later that night, we had to do the final 20K to graduate. And by the end of it, I could barely stand. I was like,
That's an
my
accomplishment
legs
for
were-
sure.
Yeah, my legs were done.
Man,
I
oh,
remember
man.
I remember standing at attention and almost passing out just because my knees were locked. But my drill sergeant's like, at ease, so I could bend my knees. Like, yeah, that was pretty tough.
Man, yeah, that I remember some of the stories that you shared about your time in Iraq, particularly the IED explosion and all. But we've since we've already covered that before, let's now get you to play some music. You know, I mean, we've got "I've Been Where You're Going." You know, this is a song. Is this? I think you had just finished writing it, and it was recorded. And we closed last year's Song Sung True with it, but this time you've learned to play it live.
Yep.
You want to give us a little story behind the song itself?
Yeah. So this one was courtesy of Songwriting with Soldiers. So I got to work with Maya Sharp, incredibly talented singer, songwriter, like amazing person. She and I were walking up to start the write on the second day, and I just threw out, it was something along the lines like, I was in this headspace of, I've been where you are, but you don't need to go through that. And then she like almost probably immediately said like, I've been where you're going. And we just like ran with that idea.
There we go. That's awesome.
Yeah.
All right, Jesse Frewerd, I've been where you're going.
Yeah. All right, here we go.
I was the eyes and ears, scouting out the enemy, calling back the lay of the land. Yeah, that was up to me. Now I see you coming and the gathering storm, and I know all too well what you're headed for. As I wore out that terrain, I covered that ground. If you're ready to hear it, let me tell you what I found. The sleepless nights and the rush you took too far, the drinking and the smoking, forgetting who you are. Send up a signal, throw out a line, call me anytime, knowing, man, I've been where you're going. If you're anything like me, gotta learn the hard way. You think no one understands, well I might know what to say. When the world is heavy as hell, no light is breaking through. Oh, when you don't trust yourself, well I might know what to do. So I wore out that terrain, I covered that ground. If you're ready to hear it, let me tell you what I found. The sleepless nights and the rush you took too far, drinking and smoking, forgetting who you are. Send up a signal, throw out a line, call me anytime, knowing, man, I've been where you're going. Man, where you going? What you doing? They're just trying to love you, but you're pushing them away. Isolation, desperation. You had to hit rock bottom to know something had to change. With those sleepless nights and the rush you took too far, drinking and smoking, wherever you are. Send up a signal, throw out a line, call me anytime, knowing, man, I've been where you're going. I've already been where you're going.
Jesse Tyler Frewerd, everyone. I've been where you're going. A collaboration. So let's talk a little bit about songwriting with others. Now, how does that work? This one sounded like you both had come up on and agreed on this, at least this one title or this one line. Is that how it usually turns out in your experience?
I mean, with like co-writes, if you're with someone new, or if you're just kind of like, you just see what's on each other's mind and see if there's any ideas that comes up out of it, I think, there's multiple ways to go about writing it, but I know when I'm co-writing, I like to either have like a few ideas prepared or just come in a little bit with something. Usually lyrics, but sometimes it could be a little riff or something, but just nothing that's complete. And then sometimes I like to free write a lot before I really dive in, just to get a bunch of ideas down. We at Berkeley Online, we did destination writing and object writing, so just touching on all the senses. That was like a good tool in the tool belt.
Can you share a little bit about that, like destination writing? Is that you pick a place and then what?
Just kind of. It could be a place like localized, but then also just touching on all the senses while you're at that place. So
touch, smell, taste, that kind of thing.
Yep.
Oh, interesting.
Yep.
Oh.
So it get really detailed. That's best way I can explain it right now without
without going to turning this into a classroom session.
Yeah.
I was just thinking, my poor students, they're kind of like, yeah, Tom, we've already sat through an hour's worth of using it. Like, we don't, thank you. So let me ask you about the writing then. So do you take a long time to come up with getting these ideas together before you go into like a writing session, collaborate, or it's kind of like, I'll just randomly select these. How long does that that kind of process take place for you?
For me, not too long. Like I just want to have something there, so I'm not like, or we're both just like
showing up and
not discussing anything, or like just having a couple ideas prepared. Maybe 15, 30 minutes.
Yeah.
Just so there's something, but nothing that's complete either. But looks like there was a question in there. How many songs have you written?
How many songs have you written and or recorded?
Written a decent amount, but I started over after Soldier Coming Home. So right now I got about 8 songs and only recorded Soldier Coming Home as my solo stuff. And then what you mentioned earlier with Canary Canyon, we have 4 complete songs right now. My wife and I's project, and just finished or released our first single on this past Friday.
Yeah. I saw all of that, and we're going to get to that in just a little bit. Now, you have done a lot of writing, not just songwriting, but also journaling, I guess is a way of putting it. And I remember you sharing part of your journal with me for last year's interview on medium.com. I would like to read an excerpt from that writing, and then we'll go ahead and pick it up on the other side as to where I'm going with this. So in the personal essay, it says, quote, "Nevertheless, having just spent over a year in Iraq, my return was thrilling and emotional, but also thoughtful and controlled. I held my daughter for the first time, saw my parents and close friends, and felt the comfort being back home. I also had a decent chunk of change from my deployment. I had fun, traveled, and vacationed, but then got back to my normal life. Overall, I thought I was all set. I was wrong." So when you wrote that, maybe can you tell us a little bit more about this situation at that point in your life?
Yeah. At that point, I mean, it was, like I said, a whirlwind of emotions. Like, I just got back from Iraq. I just started going to school. My father passed away all in this short amount of time, and it just kind of created this perfect little storm, more or less. So, like, the I was wrong was just my first kind of mental health episode, and I wasn't sure what was happening, and I kind of recognized something was wrong. I remember going to a VA hospital, but then just didn't quite catch it enough that, yeah, I had a very bad episode.
We also talked about how Katie came into your life and
Yeah.
the role that she played in getting you back on track through the transition and the recovery process. She was a source of strength for you. Can you share any of those special moments that you recall that she did to help you, and you started to finally feel like your life began to improve?
Yeah. I think, I mean, it's just her overall essence is just beautiful. Like, she was supportive. I remember telling her, well, I kind of have some mental health issues in a past that I'm kind of dealing with, and she was so supportive of, like, she was grateful that I was honest with her, and yeah, we just stuck it out through thick and thin, just we're there for each other, supportive, loving, and she got me through a very, very rough period that was right before I'm meeting her. She certainly got me through it. Yeah.
And now look at you. You guys are actually performing together, Canary Canyon. You have a video here that you shared online. And I think it's important to share it with others because, based on what you're sharing with us now, just how dire things were with you and how things started to finally, the pendulum was swinging the other way for you with Katie and all. So let me play this video for everyone to kind of take a look at.
All right, let's go get a house for you guys.
Yeah. You see it now? How's it look? Amazing.
Good morning, everybody. Thank you all for being here. My name is Amanda Becker. I am a reporter at CBS 58 News.
We do this not because, not for Operation Finally Home, not for Bellman Homes, but to make our communities a better place.
Jesse, Katie, may I be the first to say on behalf of the building industry and Bellman Homes and Operation Finally Home, welcome home.
I may have never made it home from my deployment. I could have been killed in Iraq due to an IED explosion. In another life, my mental illness could have gotten the best of me to the point where I've never recovered. Yet, in this life, I've been touched by the grace of God. For it is through His divine guidance that I stand here today, humbled and overwhelmed. God bless you all. May the seeds of your kindness bear fruit for generations to come. Thank you.
Katie, Jesse, I'd like to present you the keys to your brand new home.
Wow.
Our life changed. A new chapter. It's the biggest blessing we could have ever asked for. We can't thank them enough just for making this dream come true.
Yeah, just like true angels on earth.
Yeah.
You know, these people helping veterans like this. It's just, it's out of this world.
All right, Jesse. My goodness, when we last spoke, actually last year, that hadn't happened yet, and since then you're all moved in, right?
Yep, all moved in now.
How
so,
exciting!
yeah.
Congratulations on that.
Thank you.
What's the story? Tell us about
Yes.
how you got involved with that, and maybe some of the highlights that you'd like to share.
Yeah. So for a long time, I think it was probably on and off for about 5 years. Me and Katie tried putting in offers for houses. I think overall we put in maybe 20 offers, could never get any to go through. But now we know the reason why for that, because God had something much bigger and planned for us. So I remember coming to Katie, I'm like, after all these denials or offers denials, I'm like, I think I might have found a way to get us a house. So Operation Finally Home, I just came upon, and we all applied. I had a initial interview with my case manager, and that went really well. And then what we thought was a second interview was actually a reveal. So they surprised us. What was that? Early November, right before Veterans Day of 2022. So yeah,
It's a process that
found
took a
out.
little while.
Yeah,
Yeah.
So they did the reveal, found out we were selected, and then as the next recipients, and yeah, just moved in August.
So I have to ask.
Yeah.
Do you have are you sitting in your music room?
It needs to be decorated yet, but this is the music room.
Jesse's dad's music room.
Yep.
Yeah, you definitely need to, maybe a few
I need a
of
guitar
these.
there, another guitar. Yep, like yours. Yeah.
Okay, well, get cracking, man, because the next time we talk, we'll be looking around. We'll be watching.
Definitely.
Katie must have been thrilled. I mean, she
Yeah.
she looked just wonderfully. She looked so happy in that. Both of you did. Yeah. And I would think that she's got her kitchen and the house running the way it needs to be.
Yep. Yeah. You could probably hear the kids running around upstairs.
Like
Yeah.
my dog behind me has
Yeah.
decided he's not going to sit still until
Yep.
I take him for a walk. But that's cool. We can live through that.
Yeah.
All right. Well, real good. Well, now speaking of Katie, now we understand really the role that Katie plays in your life. In your personal life. She's been with you, helping you with the recovery process. You're married now, and you're your parents, and now you're songwriters. You're collaborating on songwriting. So, how many songs have you written together? Now, I know that last year we played Mark's song about a Vietnam veteran.
Yes. Yep.
And now there's a new single that you had mentioned, Stallion and the Still, that was just released. And so how many songs have you written together? Just out of curiosity.
We have probably several starts, but 4 or 5 complete songs. What we're thinking about doing is probably waiting till after the baby. We're settled into a new rhythm, new schedule, and then just write for like a year. We're going to try to get maybe 1 song a month at least, just work for time for us to write, and then hopefully release an EP So that's kind of like the tentative plan, but we'll see how.
Yeah. How much work goes into something like that? I mean, once you get like the product recorded, everything is done. Then it's the next step, which is going online and getting streaming services. Or do you find like a management company? How do you foresee that in your situation?
I use a distributor called CD Baby. That way they kind of review the artwork of the CD cover or anything, and then they review the song, and then they oh really? So
Are we okay?
I might have to press pause on this real quick. I'm sorry.
That's okay. I'll tell you what. You do that. I'm going to go ahead and fire up the song. I'm going to go ahead and play Stallion and the Still for everyone. So go ahead and take care of that. And hope everything is okay. All right. And folks, give me just a moment here.
If you felt the open road, would you look the other way? Would you lie and say it's love? Or would you tell it to my face? Would you look at me and wonder if I'd ever take her place? Did you think that I'd forget what you said to me that day? There's 1,000 horses running my way, but I'm trying to forget. Pulled the reins and saddled my pain, but I'm not leaving here just yet. I am broken, but not bound. I am hurt, but I will heal. 'Cause there's nothing left between us but this stallion and the still. 'Cause there's nothing left between us but this stallion and the still. Rolling fields, they move so fast. Through the window of my past, you turned down the radio. Your gray face was overcast, and the storm came rolling through a crowded mirror. Looking back, your few words, they hurt like hell, like the storm that came to pass. There's 1,000 horses running my way, but I'm trying to forget. I pulled the reins and saddled my pain, but I'm not leaving here just yet. I am broken, but not bound. I am hurt, but I will heal. 'Cause there's nothing left between us but this stallion and the still. 'Cause there's nothing left between us but this stallion and the still. I am broken but not bound. I am hurt but I will heal. 'Cause there's nothing left between us but this stallion and the still. 'Cause there's nothing left between us but this stallion and the still.
Stallion and the Still. And that's Canary Canyon. And that is Jesse and Katie Frewerd. Yeah, that's awesome. Wow, that's beautiful.
Yeah.
Hope everything okay?
I think so. Yeah, it was like just tornado warning, I guess. So
Oh boy.
I just
Yeah.
gotta kind of keep an eye on my phone, and yeah, I might be a little distracted, but yeah, if
Oh my goodness. Okay. Well, understandable.
yeah,
We're
yeah,
I know we're coming up on the end of the program here, but I'm going to do some rapid fire questions your way, and then we got one
sure,
more song for you if you got time for it.
yep.
Let's go back to your earliest memories of becoming intimately involved with music as a
Mhm.
musician, a songwriter, and a performer. What do you remember being the trigger of, I got to do that?
I gotta do that. I think honestly it was probably Nirvana, like just seeing Kurt Cobain perform. Um, it really turned me on to the guitar and just the emotion that he put into his vocals. Like I wanted to be able to emulate that. Just kind of, yeah, that's what really got me. It was my first love was Nirvana and got me playing.
Nice. So now let's talk about your first music lesson.
Yeah.
Do you remember what that was like and how it was working with your first teacher?
Yeah. I was an awful student at that time. I was in high school still, but I I remember him teaching me like arpeggios and um, simple chords and just getting me like the basics to get started. And I, of course, didn't want to practice them. I just kind of wanted to do my own thing and like write
Just do
songs
it.
or yeah,
It'll all just come to you. There's no practice that's involved.
yeah,
Keep this
yeah,
in mind, students who are debating whether practice is important or not.
yeah.
What was
But
the first
now, like,
instrument, by the way? Oh, I'm
uh,
sorry.
yeah, it was a electric guitar. I think my dad got me
Wow.
eventually was a Fender Strat. Yeah,
Awesome. In high school?
yeah,
Man, my dad got me a nylon string Yamaha for I should ask for the electric. Oh well.
yeah.
Well, good for you. All right, now here's probably I'll make this the last question because I know we've got one more song to cover, and I'm sure you
Okay.
want to take care of what's going on out there.
Yeah.
If you could trade places with any, let's start with a songwriter. If you could trade places with any songwriter out there right now, who would it be?
Songwriter. I got to go with Tyler Childers probably for that. Just
Oh, okay.
I love his style. Country, like my influences have shifted to country somewhat now. So yeah, Tyler Childers would be my top one.
And what about guitar player? If you were to trade places with any guitar player, who would it be?
Guitar player,
You can only pick one.
probably Jerry Cantrell, Alice in Chains.
Yeah? Why?
Yeah. I just love his writing style too. Just I think he did most of the writing for them, like both lyrics and I mean they'd have Lane sing and everything, but I think just the prosody or prosody between the lyric and the music. Yeah, I was just always a big fan of them too. So
All right. Well, real good. And what band would you like to be a part of if you were to be
Tool.
Tool?
So that I
Okay.
got country, grunge,
Got it covered.
progressive.
Everything's
Yeah,
covered.
yeah.
Wow, man. Well, now that we've got a better idea of who you are, thank you for spending much of the hour with us. And there's one more song that you would like to play for us, but maybe you can tell us a little bit about the song that you're going to
Yeah.
do.
Yeah, so I get to write this with Richard Casper and Brett Gillen. I think I brought the idea to them, like who I was when the uniform came off, and it kind of evolved into Rescue Me. So,
Well, very good. All right, Jesse Frewerd and Rescue Me.
all right. I've been walking these streets, no one really
'cause I can't even find myself. So how could anyone else? Supposed to be home, supposed to be free. What I really need is someone to rescue me. I've been searching high and low, but I come to the end of the road. And now I don't know where I stand. Who I was ain't who I am, 'cause I can't even find myself. So how could anyone else? Supposed to be home, supposed to be free. What I really need is someone to rescue me. Whoa, whoa, so how could anyone else? Supposed to be home, supposed to be free. 'Cause I can't even find myself. So how could anyone else? I'm supposed to be home, supposed to be free. What I really need. Supposed to be home, supposed to be free. What I really need is someone to rescue me. Is someone to rescue me. Is someone to rescue me.
Rescue Me and Jesse Frewerd. Hey Jesse, where can we find your music?
On all the streaming platforms. So yeah, my solo stuff's on Apple, Spotify, YouTube, whatever you want to use. And then Canary Canyon, also the song that Tom played earlier, Stallion and the Still, is out on all the streaming platforms as well. So.
And you've got a social media presence out there, Facebook. I know that I've been there
Yep.
to check things out. You're on YouTube as well. All of the videos that we're sharing with you, you can find on YouTube. Got any gigs coming up in the Milwaukee area?
Not right now, because yeah, we're just kind of taking it easy before the baby gets here. So nothing lined up right now. So
Wish Katie our best. All right, we missed her
All right,
tonight.
will do.
It would have been what, but we saw her in the videos and all. Hey man, thanks for taking time to share your stories and original music with us.
Absolutely.
For those of you who are watching this evening, stick around. Maybe Jesse will go ahead and answer your questions. But for everyone else, I'm Tom Lamog, guitarist for Vets and Cav Arts, Challenge America, Veteran Arts Community. Thank you for watching. Good night.
Thank you.
I wasn't a runaway man, but I refused to be the one to have all this blood on must climb as the sun begins to hide. A canopy covering me bears a silence that begs to fly. I hear all these shots all around, but I stay on the ground all night. I listen for morning, for a chance to save a life. All along the river of red, counting down the days to the end. Voice of the wound inside my head, trying to remember what you said. Carry on, stop the bleeding, keep them breathing. Carry on, stop the bleeding, keep on 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 breathing. Stop the bleeding, keep on breathing. Stop the bleeding, keep on breathing. Stop the bleeding, keep on.